outside.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Adjusting my camera and everything. Bentley's in here with me. He was supposed to get what? He was supposed to be being babysat, but it's not happening. But it's all right. How are you guys? There's only a couple people in here. With drama, what's what we were talking about? With drama happening, there may not be a lot, but that's okay.
Right. Oh well. We wanted to talk anyway, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And everybody, I want to introduce you to Cheryl. Her name is also Broken Justice on here. She is a dear friend of mine who I love so much. So.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, Jennifer, awesome. Hi, how are you, Jennifer? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Alyssa. How are you guys? Link. Hi, Alex and Broken Justice and Bentley. Look.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I can see chat now. Hi, Bentley. Hello.
So that's kind of what we're working with today. Hi, Brian. Hi, Mark Klein. How are you guys this evening?
Hello, Mark. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Wolflink.
Okay, so we wanted to kind of talk about some cases that we've either covered in the last year. Hi, Melissa. Or cases that are important to us for one reason or another. And also, my friend Amanda is coming, but she is not here yet. So we're
Okay.
gonna do that. That's good.
Cool.
Oh, he is being cute.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, Bentley was told if he can be good for a few minutes, then I put like a big poster and stickers and markers. So like halfway through, he gets to color. So that's what we're working towards.
That's wonderful.
Okay, let me see. Do you want me to just go ahead and start, and then whenever?
Yeah, hang on. Something happened.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I went off camera. Okay, there I am. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I've got a few cases I want to talk about. Some that we talk about a lot, some that we don't talk about often. Also, Justin Evans, I want to do an update on that. Yeah. So I'm excited. MJ in the house. And Michelle. We're lucky. We've got Michelle and Melissa tonight.
I know. Hello, Michelle. I know. I'm glad to see them in here, though.
Me too.
And Mark, my Mark. How are y'all doing tonight?
Sorry, had to tell Billy. Anyways, let's see. The first case I want to talk about, I did a TikTok on. Y'all don't judge me. I'm going to play it. And it's kind of, both of the TikToks I'm going to play are old. So I look like a YouTuber, but I still think they have so much information. It's important. So let me find, the first one is on Victoria Rose Smith. So let me play that and then we'll talk about it. It's only a minute long.
Meet 3-year-old Victoria Smith. Victoria was tragically murdered by her foster parents on January 14th. This is Ariel Robinson. She's a former teacher and winner of the Food Network show Worst Cooks in America. Ariel and her husband Jerry were set to adopt Victoria and her 2 brothers on the day of their arrest. They already had 2 children. Initially, they told police she had drank too much water and possibly drowned or choked. When investigators questioned Ariel about Victoria's bruising, she claimed it was either from CPR or her abusive older brother. Jerry told police Ariel would spank and beat her with belts, paddles, and flip-flops. He said that on the day this happened, she went, quote, too far. He said they put her in an Epsom salt bath to heal her bruises, and then she quit breathing. Today in court, Bio Mom requested no bail. The judge agreed and Ariel dropped her head.
Okay, my TikTok is in the description box. So Victoria Rose Smith, I did an interview with her biological aunt Michelle on this channel. The audio is awful because it's from when I first started, and Carolyn was on here and she wouldn't use headphones. So, but I can since I did that TikTok, I can't find the next court date. I even went on the Facebook page and asked, and I haven't gotten a response yet. But I will say I do know that the man, he's actually the one who called 911, and he's a witness for the prosecution. The foster father, he's been released from jail, so that's something they're really upset about. And
Yeah. Thank you guys about my TikToks. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Melissa. So the family's really upset he's been released, and we're kind of just waiting on. I say he'll still do a lot of jail time because he lied. He told police initially that, she had drank too much water and a bunch of stuff, and he had been at the store trying to buy medicines to hide the bruises and take because she was beat bad. So that's kind of the only update I have on that so far. But it's a case that, okay, the petition's in the description box. It's important to get the word out about that case because her aunt is trying to change the laws to make it where foster parents are being watched more closely and different things like that. You can go to that link and find out all the info. Yeah. That's okay, Amanda. Yeah, just come whenever you can. So if you guys can stand to listen to that audio, you should definitely check that out because why is my head cut off? Yeah, the foster system is so broken. I don't know. There's so many kids that I'm seeing that are getting abused and, or neglected, and they're in the system, and it's not okay. There needs to be changes made. Another case that we'll talk about, there needs to be changes made. Our system, like our government and all the systems intertwined in it are just old. They're not up to date with technology and different things like that. So that really needs to happen. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Yeah, for Social Services and CPS Reform. You can go sign that. They are very close to their 50,000 thing. Had you seen that case before, Cheryl? Oh, you're muted.
To fix it. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that case before, and it's just there's just so many cases like that. So many that kids are being taken from their parents, put in foster homes, and then they're being killed in the foster homes. The whole system needs to be revamped.
yeah,
They need to do some extreme cleaning house.
yeah, they definitely do. Maybe if we just keep talking about it,
Keep pushing these petitions and stuff, that we can force their hand, because something's got to give here. By the way, I do believe the foster father's name. I tripped up for a second because I don't want to say it wrong, and I've got my old notebook. So his name is Jerry, I believe, and I cannot find. This is on Tillery. That interview, if you guys haven't seen it, oh my gosh, it is just heartbreaking. The audio is bad, but if you can handle it, it's definitely worth a watch. Hi, Angie. Angie is my lovely friend from Canada who sent me that box of goodies and stuff, which I'm so thankful for. I love that. It was awesome. CPS is such a broken system. The very people in place to protect. Yeah, it's absolutely, you're so right about that. The CPS workers, all the good ones, they never stay long. They end up quitting. I know people who have, a friend of mine went through the system because she was having mental health issues. She had bipolar, and, her kid had to go in foster care because she didn't have anyone that could get her immediately. And, Melissa. And yeah,
So she got her child taken over a mental health issue. There's a girl in my town who's been busted for selling heroin twice, and she still has her kids. How is that? I mean, it makes no sense. They're making deals over children and their lives. It's just, I don't know. It's a mess. Hi, Michelle.
Well, you know how they determine that. Ever who's on for that shift, the ones that makes the decisions on ever what happens, the calls that they're brought out on, if it's time for them to go home, if it's time for their lunch, or they need a break, and that's what they determine it on. And that's a shame. It's the truth.
Yeah, that's
in my opinion.
Oh, thank you, Larry, so much. We're having a small little lab today. That's okay, because then we can all talk and all be part of the conversation, and it's so thank you so much for coming by and for the sticker. So the next
But you know, in a lot of things about that, I mean, like, they need to start looking at the mental health of these foster children too. They need to start bringing in as many close family members outside of the mother and father to still be their family and have visitation and things, instead of just the parents. When they are removed and put in a foster home, they are taken from their families. They're taken from their mothers and fathers, grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins. And if they are taken from their parents for a reason, that's fine. But you don't take them from the rest of their family too. It's not right. And I don't care if they are kept in foster homes, it needs to be extended out. If they're adopted by families, it still needs, those biological families still need to be able to be there. Because those kids at that time, they need them.
Yeah.
They are terrified.
I've never thought of that, but that is a great point. They should do that. That should be one of the top things they do, because these kids are alone. They have no one, and they go to these, like, say there's other kids in the family, that they're the foster family that already have family and stuff, and these kids probably feel very alone and like they don't have anybody, you know? So they should do that. Apple Bottom Jeans, hi, I love your name. That is so funny. They will also target specific children who fit a certain description. Oh, thank you, Michelle, from the UK. That is awesome. Thank you. Ooh, we have a huge problem in Canada with Indigenous children being taken out of their communities and into group homes in the cities. Like the group homes where all those bodies were found, right? Isn't that kind of this the schools? Is that what they called it? You're muted again, Miss Thing.
I'm muting because it clears your voice up when I mute, so you'll have to keep reminding me. I don't know, a group home? Why, they found bodies at a group home?
Oh, yeah, they found like over 200 in residential schools. Over 250 bodies. Up in the House Records TV, I did not see your message, but I will go back to it for sure if I can find it. I was in 2 foster homes back in the days, but it has gotten.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry to hear that. That is awful. Yeah, I totally missed your message. I try to keep up with them all, but sometimes 215 bodies in Kelowna.
That's awful. And allegedly with Brittany, what was you talking about? They target specific children who fit certain descriptions. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Maybe for trafficking? Yeah, a lot of trafficking. So yeah, I bet that's what you meant. So like women, young girl, you know, that fits the description of what might be wanted. I have friends that teach there. Oh my gosh.
And can you imagine what kind of monsters these are that can actually kidnap these little babies and traffic them and be okay with it? Can you imagine what kind of are?
No. It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
and that's what these kids are coming in contact with.
I was wanting to do a video. Actually, I talked to someone that lives in Canada, and they were sending me links about the residential schools and the native children and stuff. And I've made a TikTok before about missing and murdered Indigenous women because it's a huge problem. I would love to find someone to come on my show that could talk about that, talk about the residential schools, and maybe because it's a problem. Both things are a problem, and they're both with the not Native American, but the Native Indian community. And I think that would be really, really good to talk about. I wonder if are you talking to me? Because you're muted again.
You'll have to keep reminding me. When they say traffic, humans, children never even entered my mind, ever, until I heard a case about, them trafficking children. And I don't see how adults could do something like this. I mean, how is that possible?
We can't understand it. It's like the murderers, and when you're just even someone who's just really mean, people who are just mean and they love to hurt people and be mean, it's hard to understand it if you're not that way. Your brain can't really comprehend why they do the things they do, And Bryn, I would love love that. You should reach out to me, and maybe we can make that happen. That would be really special and important. Equal rights mean equal fights, equal rights and okay. CPS tobacco is a huge rabbit hole. I've been researching CPS for years now, and there have been many whistleblowers who have spoken out. Wow, that's awful. Okay, I'm going to move on to another case very quickly. That's will only take a second. We talked about it the other day, but I want to talk about it again because it's another case where part of the system needs reworked, and we need to talk about it. So let me take that comment off the screen, and I'll play the other TikTok, which is awful quality, and then we'll get back to chatting. I want to give you a couple statistics, and then maybe we can do one of your cases, Carol. Okay?
Okay. Up in the House wanted you to read a message of hers. I'm not really sure. Just before you go on.
I saw it. That was the one that they have been in foster care.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Thank you so much.
I just want to make sure. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Meet LaVena Johnson. She was a 19-year-old who went off to the military after high school to carry on her father's legacy. Sadly, on July 19th of 2005, LaVena was found dead in a tent in Iraq of an apparent gunshot wound, and now the Army claims that she died of a suicide. The Army didn't want to give her family any details, but her injuries included black eye, broken nose, loose teeth, burns on her genitals, her right hand had been set on fire. I mean, that's just the short list. There's a long list. Also, there was a blood trail outside of her tent. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. There's more that doesn't make sense, but being in the Army is very dangerous for women. In 2018, 20,000 rapes happened in the Army, and they don't tell on their brothers.
Okay. And let me scroll back and see what I missed. One of the statistics that I wanted to say was 1 in 3 enlisted women will be sexually assaulted by another soldier. And whether it's rape or murder, everything or whatever, everything is investigated internally. So it's like cops. They have each other's backs, and they will, do whatever to keep each other out of trouble. Here, I'm going to unmute you right now. There you go. Did it work? No. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Now I can, yep.
Okay. Just, I want you to be clear, when you're speaking to everybody.
Yeah.
And I think,
Thank you.
I think I'm causing you something in there. I don't know. Okay, cool. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just seeing if you had anything to say. Brittany J, I'm from West Virginia. A lot of people say that you sound like me, which is funny. Look, Link wants us both on panel to make sure we're not the same person.
What, us two? Oh,
No,
yeah. Oh,
this girl,
you and
Brittany,
somebody else?
they say that this girl sounds just like me. And, yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. There is somebody that sounds like you.
That's funny. Yeah, that is awful. That girl, her dad tried to get LaVena Johnson tried to get the autopsy results and crime reports, and they wouldn't give them to him. And he finally had a second one done. You can go. There's a Facebook group. If I didn't put it in the description, it's called Justice for PFC LaVena Johnson, and it's definitely another one that needs to be talked about. Someone always asks if it's Allie on panel, but it's just my Brittany. That's funny. Hi, Shar. Yeah. That's funny, Brittany J. So what do you think, Miss Farrell?
On the Army, on that last case,
Yeah.
have you
heard of it?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Had you heard of that Vanessa Guillen case?
No, someone brought it up in your last live, and I've been looking into it a little bit here and there. And then I got off on, they had 20 pictures of females that had been murdered in the Army. And it was they hadn't even been there for 14 weeks, I think, was the longest that one of them had been in there before she was murdered. And yeah, and that was really surprising to me. And I got off on that, so I really haven't looked into it really. But how can they say that is a suicide? I mean, I just don't understand that.
Yeah, there were drag marks outside the tent. You can get online and look at pictures of the crime scene. If y'all do that, oh my gosh, it's gruesome, but awful.
And two, you said the family was having trouble getting the autopsy and all that.
Yeah, the Army wouldn't talk to them really at all. Let me see what this is my notebook I was using at the time. Let's see. Yeah, her fingerprints were not on her M16. She was right-handed, but shot on the left side. There's many things. Okay. The Army initially refused to give autopsy results to her parents, didn't inform how she passed for months. Her father, who was a veteran, came to the conclusion she'd been raped and murdered, and it had been covered up because he was in the Army and he saw how that happened. Rape is common in the Army. Thank you, Melissa. Hi, Amber. Yeah, so she was an honor student, played the violin. She seemed like a great girl, and was just starting out on her life, and sad. Do you want to talk about yours mixed in with mine, or do you want to go at the end? How do you want to do it?
I mean, if you want to, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
Hey, Arnold is my childhood too. Okay. Well, I don't know how we should do it. I'm kind of waiting on Amanda. One of yours is very special and important to you, so, and I want to make sure to show those. Well, if you want to, let's just chat about a couple of these till Amanda gets here, and then you guys, we'll just do it like that. So, there's a few cases that I talk about. Huh? No, she's not Amanda's gonna babysit me. He's like, wait, what? Why is okay, so
the first one I will update you guys on is, I guess, Suzanne Morphew. There's not really an update I have for that besides the preliminary hearing is coming at the beginning of August, which I am really excited about that. Here she is with one of her daughters. I love that picture. But this picture right here is of Barry when they were searching for her, and he went and laid down in a field, and a lot of people, even that were searching, thought it was just so bizarre. And I hadn't shared that before on here, so I wanted to share that. And then here's his charges. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to wait till August. I'm looking forward to seeing the affidavit. How many of you guys are following the Morphew case closely? Ren and Stimpy. I have a Ren and Stimpy best BFF necklace that I've got like still on the papers that I've never used, and I've kept it in the packaging. Let's see. The generals will cover it up. Yep, they sure do. I don't think they will ever recover her full remains. They will only find traces. Baked cake. Amanda is not going to babysit my son, but he talks to her on the phone all the time because, he's a police officer. So when he acts up, sometimes we have to call her and see what she thinks about that. So, yes, Michelle, me too. Happy to have her here. What do you think? Do you think, Cheryl, do you think they'll ever find Suzanne?
Suzanne,
Yeah.
no. I think that he has gotten her buried under cement somewhere. And no, I don't think he will ever tell where she's at. But she's not somewhere that you can just walk up on her.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for his daughters. I really do. It is so horrible what they must be going through.
Oh, thank you, Baked Cake. I feel sorry for them too. Oh, look, the cooler theory, which I was someone talked to me about that today. Because I guess when her brother was doing those searches, he said they couldn't find any coolers in the home, which they found bizarre because, he hunts and he's always grilling out, and things like that. So people are suspicious that maybe they moved her in parts in those coolers, which is awful. But then the next one I wanted to touch on was Gannon Stauch. That case is so special and close to my heart. I am anxiously waiting to find out what's going to happen next. I do know that she got new, she wanted to be her own lawyer, and now she's asked for public defenders again. So they had to give them some time to get ready and learn the case, but I think it's going to be on, I got it right down here, September 9th and 10th at 9 a.m. So it's a 2-day thing. So that Lori Vallow preliminary hearing was a 2-day thing, and we got a lot of information during that. There we go. There she is, our Letitia. Oh, the blue hearts, yes.
That is perfect. Perfect. That is perfect.
Gannon Stauch has a special place in a lot of people's hearts. I guess hearing that video that she accidentally or that she released on purpose, I don't know, where he's crying at the end, and
I think that he was seriously injured there in that video. He was already injured. I think seriously.
And he sounds terrified or hurt, badly,
I just can't. Oh my gosh. I just don't understand it. It makes no sense. She was really full of anger. She had a lot of anger towards that kid. I think that she abused him before. I think that it was not a one-time thing. I think that she had been abusing him. because she was very angry.
She was angry. And her searches and stuff, I agree. Maybe she was. Who knows what his sister told police? But she was younger than Gannon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
anyone think Al is involved whatsoever, even post death? That is interesting. I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't necessarily think that.
No. Uh, I don't think so. Not in my opinion. I don't think that he was. He
I
was
mean,
really.
I'm sorry.
He was really heartbroken. He was really heartbroken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and as soon as she started lying, he was the first to call her out, publicly, privately, whatever. And then when
Mm-hmm.
they arrested her, they hadn't found Gannon yet. And I mean, you can see him up on the stage. He's just destroyed.
Right.
So,
Oh, about Barry. Who believes his silly story about a mountain lion taking her? Oh my gosh. But leaving literally no trace of anything. Um, I don't know about that. I heard a neighbor friend's interview and it was really interesting. Hi, Dave G. Weren't they swingers? Now, I don't know. There was some weird stuff happening there relationship wise, but I don't know if they were swingers or if they were just cheaters, and they cheated. And yeah, Eduardo is still on the loose. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Eduardo. And then there was even another guy, and, her and Gannon were being like attacked in the basement sexually and not sexually, and he let her run upstairs to let Gannon's little sister off the bus. Come on.
Those stories were crazy. I can't believe. I still haven't figured out how she drove all the way to Florida and back without anyone, picking up on. Man, she had to been booking it.
I
I
know.
mean, how
How
could
did she
she?
do that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Now, yeah, there's a little girl missing in Tennessee. Her name is Summer Wells, I think. The Glare is covering that. He just did a video yesterday on his small channel, but he is now able to stream on the big one. So if you guys are interested, you could go to his channel, and he's kind of covering that. I don't know too much about it. Al had some bizarre behavior even after his death. He dropped Lena off at basically a stranger's house. I did not know that. And I've seen a lot. That's interesting. I'd like to see. Send me that, Melissa, if you don't mind. And yes, Gannon's trial, even this preliminary hearing, can we imagine the stories that are going to be told? I'm glad that she's not going to be the attorney anymore, because she was going to use that to just, one more punch to the gut to Landon. I really believe that. She even tried to point the finger at Landon a little bit in the beginning, and Landon was across the country. So let's see what you guys are saying.
And Melissa says that, she's trying to figure out how that she went to Florida and back. Didn't she rent a car? Didn't they say that she rented a car and went?
Now, she rented a car, but she
Didn't go to Florida with that one. She went a very long distance, hundreds and hundreds of miles, and returned it. Now, she rented the car, she said, to search for Gannon, because she didn't want to put like too many miles on her car, because she was on some kind of deal where she couldn't go over the miles. It was leased. So then she had some family come that helped her move, and I think they had a big U-Haul and maybe a truck. During the interview where she's got her back to the camera, that's when they're moving, and he kind of says what vehicles are there, but I don't recall exactly what they were. But I wonder how she did it too. But I think she just got him and took him with her, and like she dumped him because she didn't know what to do. She was just frantically scared, adrenaline, and not really thinking. Because who goes all that way and just throws him on the side of the road, not even in the water, on the side of the embankment? Wow, that's a beautiful picture. Good job. Now you got to paint or do your markers.
Okay, so Melissa's got me thinking again now. See, I thought I put that to rest, but I guess I hadn't. So we need to figure out how she got to Florida and back, y'all. I mean, that's a long way. That's a really long
Yeah,
way.
she did move to Florida multiple times. Uh-oh, I'm echoing over
Yeah.
that.
I think the first time was her panicking. She was in a panic. She didn't know what to do with him. And then she had to go back and get him and then move him. But,
yeah.
Okay, Melissa, come up with that.
Yeah, come up on here and talk to us on here about it so we know what.
Tell her that we want her to figure that out for us.
Well, I know they found a board and a sock with blood on it, and they do know, like they have an idea of about where that was based on, he was in his daughter's car, and based on GPS, and but I don't know, but they have an idea of about where that was. I bet you that's where he was put at first, somewhere around that area. But what is so bizarre to me is when he comes home, we do not see him get out of that truck. We do not. I don't care what anybody says, he does not. So where was he? Was he in the back of the truck, and she moved him, or what? That is where I'm lost, because they're claiming the murder happened after that afternoon downstairs in the basement. They found a lot of blood. So, but I was thinking, what if the blood was from the night before he was injured, went to his bed, went to sleep, and then the next day while they're out, maybe he passes or something and she puts him in the back, or if she leaves him somewhere. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But they're also using like their motion detectors in the house to figure out how and when it all happened. Oh, awesome, Dave.
I hope they
Thank
do.
you.
I cannot wait for this case to. I wonder if it's going to be public, because I can't wait to hear this case.
I can't wait either. I'm going to recap both days. I am looking very forward to it. Okay, so another one. Well, I don't have an update on the Daybells. I do want to say one quick thing, and then I was going to move on to a case that you and I both were kind of covering and talking about. But first, I do want to say with the Daybells, someone left a comment that said Larry was actually not. I don't care. Larry, just one thing. Larry was not actually JJ's biological grandfather. So I wanted to say that and clear that up. Here's my little chart, which is on my community page. And yeah, if anybody is confused about anything, I know that this will help you guys. So go check it out. I want to show y'all this. These are Chad Daybell's children. So Emma is in the middle, and I don't know the other two's names. I thought that picture was really interesting, though. Oh, crap. Also, we have Justin Evans to talk about. So, yeah, Chad Daybell. Hold on one second, baby. His next court date is going to be June 23rd at 9:30 Mountain Time, I think, MST. And that court date will be to schedule the trial. Lori, we know that she's been put in the hospital, but they say that they cannot keep her any longer than 90 days. So this is more than likely, hopefully, not going to be a long, drawn-out process. So let's check the comments. Hi, Criminal Imagination. I threw a dart at her and broke my screen.
Let me mute so that you can.
Okay, well, you come on and say whatever you want whenever you want. Here you go. Char, I know you're on a across the sea, so if you do, good night and sweet dreams. That's enough of that. Are the Daybell kids still supporting their dad? Now, that is something that we don't know much about, but I think they have questions at least. See, they were at first. And then whenever, he was indicted for Tammy's murder, there has been journalists and different people who have tried to go talk to them, and it seems that they
thinking he's innocent 100% anymore. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see. They're not talking a lot. Hi, Leah. Hey. Looking beyond. So, yes. Wow, you need to stop. You guys, hold on one second. Cheryl, are you there? I want to get into Justin Evans, Megan Boswell, and then Cheryl also, she's the one who wanted to do Megan Boswell, and then she has a case, and then Amanda has some interesting stuff happening. Trying to juggle my kids on the live. I know it wasn't supposed to happen exactly like that. But do you want to chat with them for a second and let me go check? I think his dad might be here to get him. Let me go check. Oh, okay. 1 second. Come on, Bitman.
What cases are your trials are? Which cases have really issue? I mean, that's
Hey,
the next thing.
You're
It's important for everybody to have a case that's dear to them. I guess I don't know what she said. Go, earbuds.
Your sound at first was like going in and out, but when I unmuted mine, it kind of cleared up. So.
That's the way that yours has been doing. It's clearing up when I mute. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Maybe it's just, is that the way it sounds to you guys?
I think so, yeah, because it said better.
Okay. Cool. When you talk, I'll just mute. Okay. That's the best way to do it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So, Justin Evans, you are following that case, right? A little bit? Okay. So, let me get to his pictures. Justin Evans. So, he was a 22-year-old man from Canada who was reported missing on December the 14th. So there was I'm going to read off my notes for a minute. There was a large amount of blood in the shed, and also there was drama between some of the people before any of this happened. Before he went missing, there was a lot of intertwined family stuff happening. So there are already very strong emotions surrounding this case and the situation. I did an interview with a young woman who was being named as a suspect by people online. Police never named her a suspect, but she was being, people have questions. Sadly, they found Justin deceased not long ago and not far from where he lived in or by a pond. So I'm not quite sure exactly where he was by that pond. So I guess after the autopsy and who knows whatever other evidence they have, police are now saying it was not a homicide. The family is very angry and they strongly disagree, which I can understand why, because I mean, all this blood in a shed and somehow he makes it, even if it's close across a field or whatever, how did he make it from there to there with nothing in the middle? No blood, no. So that is, I can understand that. Like I said here, if he was injured so badly in the shed, how did he make it there? So Bud, his best friend, then released a very controversial statement. I won't get into it too much, but it was regarding his sexuality, and I think he was trying to give a why this may have occurred. So the family, they were offended by it. I shared it in my Facebook group because Kiara and I, since the interview, we've kept an open line of communication, and she's a very nice girl as far as like the communication I've had with her. So when Bud wrote the post, she sent it to me and I shared it in my Facebook group. I immediately had to cut off comments because people were not happy about it. But so I don't want to share the post here. All I'll say is it was regarding his sexuality, and this is not a new thing that they came up with. Kiara told me that when we were doing the interview. You know, she didn't want me to say anything. That's something really personal that, you know, you're not really supposed to talk for other people when it comes to that. So it's just wrong. But anyways, so the family, they did post this in the Facebook group. Here, well, first we'll go through this. Let me turn off that. So his remains were found in the community of Kilworthy. Police don't believe he met with foul play. I need to take that comment off. We have not come to a final conclusion yet. They're conducting, now it's a death investigation instead of a murder investigation. Investigators have yet to release the details surrounding his death, which that will clear up a lot. We need that, and I hope they can at least release that to the family, because they are struggling. They don't understand, and it doesn't make sense. I understand why they feel that way. So if you have any information, I wanted to make sure to put this number up here on the screen, 1-888-310-1122. So the family put this post on Facebook. Hey, Pa, how come them cops didn't investigate the Justin Evans murder? And yeah, so they are not happy, which understandably, you lose someone so important to you, and this is the answer you get. I can understand. Yeah. So they said he wasn't actually depressed. I asked that, and they said no. I mean, he wasn't even like the kind of guy to be like that. He was very happy-go-lucky. And I think they're thinking suicide. Now, there was a neighbor. So when Justin went missing, there were 2 other deaths in the area. One was unrelated, and then one was a very close neighbor who committed suicide. So there are people that are grouping those together. Perfect accent for that quote. Yeah, it's awful, awful, awful. So I am hoping they give some answers soon. I will certainly speculate about that. Let me check the rest of the comments, and before we move on, I still believe Justin's brother was involved. It was crazy the day she came on. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I've seen people have talked about that interview quite a lot. So obviously, it got some information. The people were awful in that chat. Very disrespectful, but people have talked about the interview a lot. So obviously they got some kind of answers, you know, not they as in the family, but they as in the public. And the family, I didn't say this at the time. The family sent me a list of questions, maybe 10, and I asked every single one. There was one question that was, there was one question that was about Bud's dad, and she said she wouldn't answer it. So, you know, I didn't ask. And they were mad about that, and they kept repeating it in the comments over and over. So there was really nothing else I could do. But I'm going to interview, you know, I'm going to interview anyone directly involved with the case from all sides. That's what I want to do, because in me, I want to get all sides of something before I jump and make a decision in any situation. So, Michelle, you do need a Facebook. I believe Bud's girlfriend will spill the details eventually. Does he have disabilities? No, but yeah, you're right about who it was. Let's see. Okay. How's Bubs going with the shots? All good now, I hope. I don't know what you're talking about right there, but. Hi, Raina. The interview was seen by many. Great interview, but so mean to y'all at the same time. I commend you for that. Thank you, Wolfie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Amber. You guys definitely. Amber's channel is always in my description, because we do have that Twitter and stuff together, and so I always link that, and then therefore I link hers and Kelly's channel, and they are both very good. So if you're not subscribed, which I'm sure you are, definitely go check it out. 1 second, you guys. I'm just going to turn that off, but I'm still here. That's me dribbling. Oh, that's okay. I hope Cheryl's okay. That's who I'm messaging. It's her turn for her cases. But we're waiting for you. I don't want to move on to Megan without her. So I will talk about you guys. Someone said, can I speculate about Gannon Stauch and the Daybell case? So I'll do that a little bit for you guys. The Daybell case. So I think that, in my opinion, I think that Chad, his lawyer, is really good. Well, he's a jerk, and he's, you can tell he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, but he knows the law, and he's very quick to, object, even if he shouldn't be. So I think that I still think Chad will be found guilty. Now, we haven't even seen the evidence, but they were buried in his yard, and with the text and different correspondence, we kind of know that he will be. Oh, she's back.
Hey.
Sorry, we had lightning that struck, and it
Uh-oh.
knocked everything out. It scared me. Wow.
That's okay. And then as far as Lori Vallow, I do think that they will get her to stand trial. I'm hoping and praying. Based on what I've seen, they don't, you can't be criminally insane there in Idaho. So you're not going to get not guilty by reason of insanity. So they're going to try to get her to where she can at least understand her charges. And I'm hoping and praying that happens fairly quickly. And I think we'll see a court case. I think they will be found guilty for everything. What do you think in that one? Do you think they're going to get found guilty, or?
Definitely. And they're going to bring her into court as soon as they can get her there. They're not going to let her just continue to keep this on because she's faking. She said that before. She faked it when I think that Ryan, he wanted to get her evaluated, so she went in and faked it. And I think that, and I think Melanie Gibb, I think that she knew everything, and she got immunity for testifying. She's going to testify against both of them.
Yep. And I think that she was involved. And I will not be surprised if Melanie Kalowski ends up getting charged with something too, because I do think she was involved as well. Okay, so let's see. Someone said they wish my GPS or their GPS sounded like me. That's funny.
Yes, good.
All that in a bag of potato chips for Mr. Potato Head. Sad and prior shows. I think
do y'all, does anyone know how many following that Chad had? Or was it just this little group?
Well,
so it was this little group that was directly following him, but and on that chart I have M for members of like the cult, right? That's what I called it. But this is not actually followers of Chad. These are people who believe in the doomsday stuff and energy. They believe that, like Zulema, they believe that she can make tornadoes and all kinds of different stuff like that. So there's a big group of people who believe in the craziness, but there's a small group of people who, Chad was bringing in a lot of extra stuff. If you think about it, the portals and all that, that I think is a small group of people who are listening to that. And hi, Ray. Ray is my dad's name. Every time I see her name, I think about my dad and my sister, whose middle name is spelled Ray. They're spelled just like
that. Criminal imagination. says like 45 people. So, I mean, that was enough to get a lot of people murdered, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. And who knows what else he's done in his life, because I think he's pure evil. When you hear, like, he was a gravedigger, and Noor Jasmine goes through some of his books, and he even makes fun of, like, he's very disrespectful to the dead. Yeah, he's not, I don't know. He was actually really famous, though, and that's how, well, famous in the religious Mormon book world. That's how Lori Vallow even heard about him. So she was reading his books and stuff and was like, fangirling over him. And even her nephew, who did an interview recently, was talking about that. She was all the time talking about Chad and his books. And then, she met him, and I think, look at Chad. He's a dweeb. Lori Vallow is a beautiful woman. We can't deny that. So I think that, he saw her, and that was it. It wasn't hard for her to get his attention once he saw her. Her and Alex were his fangirls. Yes, exactly. Good night, Shar. Thank you for coming so much. Hope you sleep great. You're muted.
Up until the point where Lori met Chad, she was beautiful on the outside. After she meets him, have you noticed her pictures and everything? How that she starts aging really fast, and she just, that glow that she had before is gone, and something else is there. But right, you're right. But and I wonder if that's what they talk about, false prophets. The Bible talks about false prophets. These people have got to be as close to false prophets as you can get.
Oh, they are, absolutely. I think that's exactly what it's talking about there. Criminal imagination. You are right. So the first time they met, he said that they were soulmates and they used to be married. He said, we were married in a past life on their first meeting, which is crazy. She was starstruck, and they were like gasoline and a match. Absolutely. Melissa, I still struggle with figuring out to what extent the Melanies were involved. Me too. And we've talked about this. Now, Melanie Gibb was there the day that JJ went missing. She despised Tylee. She's already been said to have talked angrily about them even since their passing. There is something going on with her. I know it. Now, I don't think she'll ever get charged because I believe she's got immunity, and I think we'll find out soon enough. Well, I mean, oh my gosh, did I put that in here? Chad's lawyer. No, I didn't. It was on. I uploaded it and then I took it off. So Chad's lawyer, I got the paperwork from him subpoenaing all the records involving her. And if you look at the wording, it seems like she's gotten immunity. So how can someone change that fast in looks? She looks like the mess she left behind. Yeah, I think she braided it too. Or they probably have something that they like homemade that they are using for curlers. She said she turned away when they called her and tried forcing her to tell the cops she had the boy. She said she turned away when they called her and tried. Yeah, she did tell the cops too. That's the thing. She said he was with her at first, but then she realized, I think, I'm going to get caught up in this. And so that's why she did that recorded phone call. So she could prove to the world that, she didn't have him. So let's see. I want to talk a little bit at the end about, I'll tell you guys at the end, actually. So Cheryl, do you want to talk about Megan Boswell a little bit? You're muted, by the way. Don't forget. Don't forget. Let me see.
You have her pictures, right?
Yes, ma'am. Let me get them. One second.
Isn't she adorable?
Yeah, go get her little 2 teeth in there. My God.
I don't see how anyone could look at this baby and hurt them. I just don't get it. Doesn't make sense. Um, and her mom, I mean, is fixing to come up for trial. I mean, they are hustling around trying to get her
Here's her
ready for it.
mom.
And she is, she could be the youngest woman put on death row.
Yeah, she's definitely up for it. I think did they say they weren't going to seek it maybe, or I don't know. But
I don't think that they've decided yet. I'm not really sure. I don't think that they've decided. Um, but I mean, she discarded this baby in a shed. I mean, just put her baby in a shed, you know, and then pretended to do all these searches and, you know, and the boyfriend that was with her, he knows a little bit about what's going on, and the grandparents. Um, I think that the grandmother knew. That's why that they gave them that car. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I think
But-
she did too, because she got mad when Megan's dad called the police. So it's like a Casey Anthony situation, you guys. Evelyn Boswell, she was 15 months old. She was missing for months before her mother reported her missing. When she finally did, her dad, so the grandfather of the baby, told his daughter, "I am calling police if you do not tell me where she is." Well, she didn't tell him, and so the grandmother, his ex-wife, called and cussed him out for it. You know, so obviously she knew something, because why would she get mad? Doesn't she want to know where her granddaughter is? You know? She's charged with, let's see, murder, child abuse, child neglect, abuse of a corpse, and over a dozen counts of lying to police. And you guys, if you haven't seen some of her interviews, they're on YouTube. You can go watch them. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, how many different stories did she tell, you know? Oh, you're muted. Don't forget.
Sorry. I know of 5. And she had a couple of other ones out there that she was telling that they were rumors around. It's a rumor that one of her inmates that she told, you know, one of her cellies told them a story. So I don't know. That hasn't come out yet, but, you know, it will eventually. Goodness, there's not much telling what that'll be.
I know.
But, yeah.
So she had court recently, and they had to push off the next court date because they said they are waiting on evidence from the lab, right?
Right. Yes, they are waiting on the evidence from the lab. I'm pretty sure that that's all the testing that they're doing, you know, and because I know it takes a long time to get toxicology back. That's it takes longer to get that back than almost anything, I think. But they're going to make sure that they have all that evidence too, because there's no doubt she did this. She did this.
I cannot wait to see what evidence they've got for sure, because they have not told us even the cause of death, have they? How do we get switched like that? You're muted.
But yeah, they don't have a cause of death yet. They haven't released anything other than what they did after they found her, and I think it's because, you know, they're saving it for trial, because I think there's more people that's going to go down with her. It's not going to just be her. I know the boyfriend, his family has a little bit of money, so they kind of backed off from him, but he knows more than what he's saying. He definitely knows more than what he's saying.
How old is she? 18 or 19, right?
I think she's 18.
I got it right here. Megan Boswell. These are my notes from the TikTok I did on it quite a while ago, which I didn't bring that one.
Sorry.
She was 19 and Evelyn 15 months old. Last seen shortly before Christmas 2019. Reported missing to February 18th. Mom lied so much she was arrested for lying to police. Then while in jail, the body was found on March 6th in a shed on her father's property. The date of the death was listed as on or about December 2019. And where are the rest? I guess I don't know what I did. Let's see. So yeah, that's kind of the situation with her.
I'm surprised many of you guys hadn't heard of that. Here's some more actually.
I found it. Blah, blah, blah. Their focus has been on discovery. COVID impacted their ability to work on the case. Megan's attorney wants a change of venue due to public interest. So they're in Tennessee. She got felony murder, and then, like I said, the child abuse, a dozen counts of lying to police, and abuse of a corpse. So I'm not sure what she did, but.
And Christy Lou, no, we don't think. I don't think that the dad knew. Do you?
No. Yeah, he is in his service, right? Or something like that, and he's a few hours away.
You were right, criminal imagination. Very, very good. A for advocate, that is okay. Yeah, this is Cheryl, and A for advocate and Cheryl are both two of my friends. Cheryl has a YouTube channel, and A for advocate works behind the scenes with local police. She does some things I'm hoping she'll talk about if she makes it home to come on here. I wonder with her if it was immaturity and she snapped and maybe killed this poor baby and tried to hide it, and maybe abuse was normal to her. So she's had quite a hectic life, I know that. And also there's a lot of speculation because certain pictures of the baby, she looks like she's drugged. I mean, they're saying that, Megan maybe was giving her Benadryl a lot to make her sleep so she could have a break. So I'm wondering if maybe there was an accident with that. Oh, Christy, that's awesome. I'm glad. That way more people for Evelyn is only a good thing. Putting the baby in the shed could be abusive, of course, especially if not gentle about it respectively. A lot of times tampering, so she must have hurt the baby's body somehow. Oh.
There's a few of them that's saying that it could be postpartum depression. Well, yeah, it could be, but usually with teenagers, like with her kind of personality, usually they're wanting to go with that boy and not have that baby, and it's not his baby, and she wanted to go and do her own thing, I'm sure. And her mom doesn't seem like that she was really, there for her in that sense to take some of it off of her. And then the dad seems like that he would tell her she needs to take responsibility. That's what I gather. And I think that it made her mad, and it made her mad at the baby. Because...
Yeah. Well, have you seen, there's a video clip. So when the baby was missing, Megan says, my mom's got her. This is one of her stories. My mom's got her. Mom's got her at the trailer park. Mom's in this car. So police go find the mom, arrest her and the boyfriend because they're in a stolen car that belongs to Megan's boyfriend, right? So come to find out, Megan and her boyfriend gave them the car. And they were doing a false report, and the mom has not been charged with anything with the baby. But when the boyfriend is leaving jail, there are people there with cameras, and they say, "Where's Evelyn? Where's Evelyn?" And he starts singing a song, and he says, down something on Sycamore Road or Sycamore Street, something like that. You have to go find the video to see for sure. But she was found
on Sycamore Road. That's where the house was and stuff. So there's other things that make people think maybe there's a lot more to this and more people involved who are not being held accountable for their actions, whatever they were. Muted.
I feel like that she told her mom, is what I feel like. I feel like that the mom knew that the baby was gone, and they gave her the car to keep her mouth shut.
I do too. I believe it's their mom.
Mm-hmm. But what kind of grandparents are they? What kind of people do this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Because I know I had my kids young, and my mom was on it. My mom was right there. If she knew that I couldn't have done it, she would have been right there. There's no way.
That's me too. My oldest, I was very young when I had him. His dad wasn't
involved very much, and so, or involved at all. He kind of just disappeared for years at a time, where my son would cry asking if he was lost and different things like that. So my parents kind of played that dad role. I lived with them, and we became like a group of parents for him because he needed us all. And now my dad is like his dad, and they are very, very close. I'm so thankful for my parents. If I was to hurt him, they would kill me. They love me. I'm their baby. But that's their baby too, and that's just the way it's supposed to be. Absolutely. Good evening, Annette. Maybe that sounds bad. No, it doesn't. It's just the way it is. I completely agree. Oh, Allie, I'm so sorry. It's okay. Something I kind of just got through. I will say it was really hard when, Trenton was about 4 or 5. And Chris, I've told this story to a few people, but so Christmas was, on the 25th, obviously. His birthday is on the 28th. And he came up to me around midnight on his birthday, and he's like, Mommy, is my daddy lost? He's like, he's not answering the phone, and I know if he knew where he was, he's not calling me, he's not coming to see me, and I know if he knew his way to me, he would be here. He would have called me. Is he lost? And that was just really hard to get through because you love your baby so much, and just the thought of him being sad or feeling like he wasn't loved or special or wanted or important, it just like ripped my soul out from the inside. And there's not much you can do besides, I told him, unfortunately, your dad, he's sick, he's not right in the head, and he doesn't realize how special you are and what he's missing out. And that, that's all I could do. He actually had a visit with his grandpa like a year or two later, and he told his grandpa, my mommy says my dad's not right in the head. But I had to explain to him, hey, it's not him that's messed up. It's not you that's messed up. It's him. You're perfect. He's screwed up, Let's see. Baby Evelyn was probably an inconvenience for all of them. Yes. She would make me take care of my daughter, or she would, like white on rice. I've heard that. I was talking to my daughter. That's okay. Yeah, I just said that he was, that's actually a heart with the gauze around it, but it changed to a heart and a Band-Aid. Oh. Yeah, it was rough. He didn't know where he was. He thought he was lost. Little kid mind, you don't possibly think, oh, he doesn't want anything to do with me. He's thinking he's lost somewhere. He literally cannot get to me. So I'm so sorry. I know what you mean. You do feel your child's pain, and we want to do all we can to make them feel better. Absolutely. Yeah, you do feel your kid's pain. I mean, if you're a parent of a good parent. I don't know what you missed. It was quick. I just said that my 4-year-old, his birthday and Christmas were very close. And whenever his dad didn't call, he asked me, if he was lost. And I had to kind of work through that. And I'll never forget it. He waited all night long, and he must have been just waiting for that call. And yeah, at least he has a strong mom. Thank you. Oh, okay, you got it. My daughter never had her dad either. That is so hard to go through. It really is. Because we want our kids to feel normal, to feel loved, to feel special, important, and when it comes to things like that, like the other parent isn't there or something, like there's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing you can do. You have to surround them with love and support and do your best. Parenting doesn't come with a handbook. So he's 12, Michelle, and he is a special, special little boy. I always wondered and worried that maybe trauma, because he had some trauma from this, you guys. He would chew holes in his shirts and different things he had anxiety. But he's really a very kind-hearted. I'm super soft-hearted, and I think he has that too. One time, and then we'll move on to a case that's really special to you. I want to talk about that. But real quick, one time it was Easter, and he was leaving like the next day after we had Easter, going to school, and he started, or maybe it was a couple days after, and he started packing up some Easter candy, and I'm like, you can't take all that to school. And he told me that a kid on the bus didn't get an Easter basket. They only had Easter dinner, and he wanted to make sure he got some candy from the Easter bunny too. And like, oh, I could even cry just thinking about it because he's just so sweet. His dad will regret it one day, and when your son grows up and he achieves his goals, dad won't be able to. Yep, that's true. Oh, he regrets it already. His dad was in an accident and he almost died. He had to learn to walk and talk and all. He had carbon monoxide poisoning. And ever since then, he does call, and he did send a birthday gift card this year. It was 3 months late, but he did. And so, yeah, and he's done a lot of apologizing and stuff like that. So I think he kind of gets it a little bit. I know. I'm so, so proud of him. Oh, thank you, Courtney. It's so cool to get to share these kind of things with you guys. I love it. So, Cheryl, are you there? You're probably muted.
I'm here. I'm just getting my notes together, okay? For that.
Okay, you're fine.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
All right.
My son was only 10. Oh, thank you guys so much. Oh, your son is 19. That's awesome. My son was only 10 when his dad was. Oh my gosh, Michelle, I am so sorry. Ooh, gosh, that's another thing. There's nothing you can do to fix it. I'm sure that was awful. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. My daughter's heart attached to my husband when he's home. He works a lot. Always hope he never regrets time he spent, but grateful to live comfortably too. Yeah, that's a struggle there too. But you know what? He's working really hard for you guys, which is really awesome. So you guys are lucky.
Let's see. I never had my father when I was growing up, and when I was 23 years old, and he completely denied me, saying I don't know.
Oh my God, Annette, I am so sorry. My God, that is awful. Excuse me? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. We got some really, really strong little women in here. I am so proud of all of you guys, and me too. I love you guys. My daughter is 20 and still doesn't have her dad. These men. God bless the real dads. That's awful. Did she ever get or your parents or stepdad or brothers of yours or anything to kind of fill that role a little bit?
Yes, you are amazing, Annette. Oh.
Y'all are going to make me cry.
I know. We're having like a big emotional.
I know.
I am so sorry. Oh, that is awful. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, we can all hold each other up and hug each other and get through this, and we'll be okay. I am so sorry to hear that.
Y'all are all going to have to come on and do karaoke one night, see, when y'all are...
Yeah, and we can have like a group therapy, take turns, everybody can be there for each other. Such a great group here, all half growing up now.
That would be funny.
You guys are awesome. It turned into a woman's retreat. Yes, you guys are awesome. I'm blessed. My husband and I have been married 23 years. We have a 22-year-old. Wow. Courtney, that is awesome. That is so awesome. Karaoke on here. Yes, yes. Mexi did it, and they had a ton of fun.
Yes, it was fun. Yeah, I was there, and it turned out really good. It was amazing. We just laughed. It was so amazing.
And two things. I want to respond to that comment, and then also Amanda had the idea that like how Mexi did karaoke and people's kids were doing it. She was saying that we should get our kids like on here, and you guys call in like to the link and put your kids on and do like a kids trivia, which would be hilarious. I think we should do that. If anybody would want to do that, let me know, because if there's enough people, that would be really fun. Yes, group hug for everyone. And Brittany J, you are so right. The hard times is what makes you who you are. And people who have been not through as many hard times, sometimes they can be judgmental of certain things because they just haven't been there or experienced. But when you've had a lot of trauma and heartache and hard times, that just you just turn into like something more beautiful than you could ever imagine. Wildflowers grow from dirt, so let's see. Group hug for everyone. Group therapy sounds like a great idea. That'd be really cute and funny. I think it would be funny too. The bloody big kids these days, I know the feeling. Oh, Woofy, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You did not have to do that at all. Thank you. And then Mexi's channel. And then, whenever you're ready, Miss Mama, you let me know and I'll share the pictures you sent. This is a very personal case to her, and it is kind of crazy and really personal. I went through my hard times before my husband. I have been blessed since I met him. That is awesome. That is so awesome. And you know what? Not everybody who had, like my mom, she had a pretty uneventful, now she went through cheating, different marriages and stuff like that, which was her hard times. But like childhood and stuff, she had a really good one. And she is a strong, sweet woman. So just because you haven't been beat to daggone death, don't mean that you're not just as special as anybody else. 10 years in July. That's awesome. You never know what another person is going through. The Bible says be mindful of your words because you never know when you're talking to an angel. Aw, that's so cute. You have to read it. That's fine.
She'll be back in a second. There she comes.
Yeah, that is a beautiful quote. I love that. That's fine with me, Cheryl.
Okay. I was reading through it and I don't think I can read it. I just don't think I can read it.
Okay. Well, can you send it to me in Messenger, or where's it at?
You don't have it? Okay, I'll read it. I'll just disconnect from it. Okay, I'll just disconnect.
Okay, I am going to mute and turn my camera off for this because it is special and important, and then I'll be back.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. You hang in there, and if you need a minute to cry or anything like that, you take a minute, okay? We are here for you and love you. And when you want me to share the photos, you let me know.
All right. Okay. Thomas was a 11-year-old little boy. He was my son's best friend. And he came up missing when they were 11. So, just gonna have to bear with me. It's like, Thomas disappeared from Madill, Oklahoma on September 19, 1994. His skeletal remains were found 16 miles away in Dixon, Oklahoma in December of that same year. But they remained unidentified until February of 2011. DNA testing confirmed that the bones found in Dixon were Thomas's. The cause and manner of death are still undetermined. Thomas was being abused, and we didn't know it. My son had only known him for a few short months, and he was Thomas's only friend, but he was his best friend. He came from California, and that's all I knew. And so my son started, me and a few of the other parents started seeing marks on Thomas and stuff, and we started asking questions. And then the following week, how I met Thomas was he had a pellet gun, and he shot my son with it. And so, of course, I go and grab him by the ear, and I said, I'm taking you to your parents, So I knock on his door, and he just opens the door, and I just follow him on in the house. I mean, that's just, I was upset. But in the living room, I was ankle deep in beer cans. And his mother was passed out in the middle of the living room. And he said that she does it almost every day, And at that time he had a black eye. That was his first day I met him. Well, the next week, he was coming to my house for dinner every night, and he was at my house, and the marks had started clearing up. But it was only after I went up there on his mom. And so then I started checking into, is he missing a lot of days from school? Is, Sean, who's doing, my son, I talked to him about the bruising and stuff, and he said, Mama, we think it's his stepdad. And so we started putting two and two together, and the kids, they had a joke that was within their little circle that Thomas was going to run away, and he was going to stay in this shack, and they were going to feed him and clothe him, and everything was going to be fine. Well, a couple of days later, he was at my house playing again, it started getting dark. And I said, Thomas, now you've got to go home. I said, it's getting dark. The kids have got to get ready for bed, and you've got to go home. And that was the last time that we saw Thomas. And his mother said that when he got home, she sent him to the grocery store after a gallon of milk. Well, and he never came back. Well, what was so weird about it is that his mother never come and talk to me. Never come and talk to the, any of the kids. Didn't bring any flowers. Didn't bring any flowers home for us to pass out. I didn't see her at all. I had to go bang on the door and leave some on her door. And I knew then something was wrong. And so 2 weeks later, the apartments that they lived in burnt to the ground. And then the boys, they waited for him to get in touch with them. They just knew that he was going to get in touch with them. And he didn't. His mom went ahead and moved on to California. And eventually me and my sons moved here to the city where I'm at. And we walk into a convenience store, and there's Thomas's picture on the front of the register. And Sean is like, 21, 22 by now. And he goes, Mom, you think they'll ever find who did that to him and where he's at? And I said, I don't know, Sean. I hope so. So I called every year, and I've talked to the investigators. I talked to the sheriff in the town where we live today, and they don't know anything. They don't even remember him. The cold case detective is the one that got him identified in 2011. He was 14 miles from our hometown, and nobody even crossed that county line to see if there was a child missing in another county. And they wouldn't give us any answers. They wouldn't answer any questions that we had. And to this day, they still don't. I mean, they give us as much as they can, I guess, with it being an open case. But they never have even bothered to go and do anything about this man that, got by with this. Because my son, we talked about it here the other day, and my son is almost 40 years old now. And we just don't understand. I mean, I carry a lot of guilt because I didn't act fast enough. But, when you just see something like that, I mean, the wheels start turning, you start putting things in motion, and by the time when you're starting, it's over with. It's gone. Everything's gone. The police there didn't even investigate at all. They said he was a runaway. And all that's been found is his skull, part of it, in somebody's yard. And I just feel like that I let Thomas down. I know that the school let him down. I know that the sheriff's office let him down. CPS. I mean,
Yeah.
we all did. We all let him down.
You said, who do you think is responsible? The mom or, a family member? What? You said a man. I was curious.
His stepdad.
Okay. Does he have any connections with law enforcement in that area?
No, nobody even knew them. Nobody knew them.
You want me to show these photos?
And what? I'm sorry.
Your photos.
You're okay. Get yourself together. You're doing a great job, and you take your time. Now, I don't know. You have to unmute for a second and tell me which one to share, because you sent me the three. We have the young looking one, then the one that's not actually looks like clay on like a mold, and
yes.
Then we have
do his school picture thing first. That is no. This
is the only three you sent.
This is what they had. The clay molding. This is what they had the next county over when they found the skull. This is what they got a forensic artist to make this cast. Okay, and you have the school picture of him when he was young?
Yes, let me see. See, you sent 3. Now, I thought this looks like, they both look computer generated. I don't think I ever got the one. Let me go look while you talk about that one. I'll go look
Okay,
it up.
this one right here, I think this is the age progression of when he was be 27, I think. The same artist did this just from a part of the skull. They didn't even have the whole thing. They just
Wow.
had a small. This is age 24. I
Oh,
think. I'm pretty sure.
it's so sad to see
And
that.
this would be an age progression. It's not really him. It's just an artist did this. Did you find that other picture?
Nope, it's not in our file. I think it must not have came through. But if
Okay.
you can go to your messenger and send it real quick, I could probably get it on there. Hey, you are doing a great job, and just take your time. If you saw all the support for you in this chat, and that's one thing, she wants to get like this case out there more because it was just completely forgot about. Did they have no pictures? She has one, I guess, of him that she's trying to
Yes,
send
I
out.
had a school picture.
Okay.
I've just got to go back and find it. My goodness. Ellie, I don't know how far was it back.
You didn't send it, it didn't go through, so just find it on your phone and send it again.
Okay.
Yeah, in these small towns, the police are just not equipped to handle some of these cases, and so sometimes they don't even care, especially if they name him a runaway from day one. They're not, doing the kind of searches of his home and different things that they needed to do. Yeah, he's very handsome.
I don't see where I got it at. I don't see where it is.
Brittany says his mama failed him, Cheryl. Don't beat yourself up. And I agree. Absolutely. You're doing amazing telling us all this. Thanks for trusting us and sharing with us all. Sending virtual hugs from Christy Lou.
I can't find it.
I haven't heard of that, Barbara.
Let's see. Hang on. Let me look. I think it's in my other phone. Let me look at this.
Yeah, it is very sad. Very, very sad.
Okay.
I'm wondering if they abused him and it went too far, kind of like with Gannon or some of these other kids that we think they might be abused. I'm curious.
Cumberland Beach. This is like, yeah, it is kind of scary. It's a clay mold, like makeup of what, I guess, from finding that piece of skull, what that artist could imagine he may look like. Which, I'm not used to small towns. Oh my, I'm in a small town. These cops, whew. My dad's friend was actually murdered, and they think, because this is like, the opioid epidemic is bad here, and his prescription was missing, so they think he was murdered for his medicine, and they found his body in the woods a couple years later, and there's been talk all over the streets of people who were involved, and there has been no movement in that case at all. She was tied from her arms and ankles and apparently hopped over 12 miles and was ruled a suicide. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay, I can't get it. Can you Google him? And his class picture comes up first.
Yes.
But I can't seem to get it over to you.
What's his name? And I'll do it. I'll just have to.
Thomas Tillery.
Tillery, how do you spell it? Tillery?
Llery.
Okay. Be right back. I can still hear you. Can y'all see me still?
I can no. Yeah, I can see from the
Okay.
but
Thomas Tillery, Oklahoma. Because it don't come up first for me, I guess, where I'm not in that area. So I'm gonna do that.
put it Medill, Oklahoma, it'll come up.
Oh, I see his picture. Oh,
You see it?
yeah.
And I have their school pictures. I just didn't have time to go and dig them up. Did you find it?
Yep, I'm about to do it right now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh,
Okay. Here we go, y'all. Oh, he's so cute. That is so sad.
yes. And this is Thomas. This is his school picture right before it happened. And like I said, police department, I called today. I mean, I picked up the phone and the sheriff that was sheriff at the time, I called him and I'm like, do you remember, when my kids were young and Thomas Tillery come up missing? And he's like, I don't remember that. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, you're kidding. I just broke down because it's horrible that no one seems to care. And they're not even willing to go over to California and question these people, because the mother is divorced from this guy now, so she might be willing to talk.
Courtney asked, was there any mention of alcoholism or abuse whenever he was missing?
Nothing. Nothing was even said about. No one even asked us any questions. They just. He was a runaway. We had to do our own. We had to get our own pictures together. We had to pass them out. The parents, and it was me and just a couple of other ladies, and there was about 10 little boys that helped. And they would not. They didn't even care. Didn't even acknowledge it. And then when the apartment complex, when the apartments that he lived in burnt to the ground 2 weeks later, we were like, do something about this. We know who did this. And these people up and left town, and that was it. I don't even know if they questioned them. Tell you the truth.
Irvin said he would like to look at this case. Irvin, if you do, you should reach out to Cheryl, because the more people that talk about it, the better. Oh my gosh, y'all, I got a cramp in my foot. Hold on, I gotta stand up. I'm sorry. Ow.
She has a cramp in her foot.
Okay. Yeah, but the more people that can talk about it, the better. And any of these cases, and I know, we all love, the drama and all this different stuff, but when we get together, and I hate the drama, but people love it. And I watch drama channels about the beauty gurus, so I can get the appeal. But these are the important things. These are the things that bring us to YouTube in the first place. Me, anyways, I'm here because I want to do something positive. I want to make a change when it comes to this, when it comes to addiction, just whatever, And I think that if we all work together to make positive change in the world, it'll just be a way better place. And that's what we need to do. It's important. So anyways, Irvin, if you do, I'd love to bring some light into it. Yeah, that would be so awesome. Maybe you can reach out to
his last name was Tillery, Tillery. But yes, his mother, if she would just talk you know. And my son is trying to track down her information so that maybe I can speak to her on the phone. So I
That would
am
be
gonna,
awesome.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, that would be
it
awesome.
would be, yeah. But yeah, my son, he's got kids of his own, and we were sitting here the other day talking about Thomas, and he goes, he would have kids too now, Mom. And I was like, yeah, he would. And it's pitiable. I mean, he just should have been loved more, I think.
I'm sorry that the door interrupted you, but yeah, that's an awful thing to think about, like where he
And for that not to be his biological dad, you know, and the mother, what in the world was she thinking? I mean, I don't understand that. Where they are willing to give up their own children's lives for men or for a woman, even. And it's terrible. They shouldn't even be parents. They shouldn't even be parents.
that kind of
Okay,
messed up
I'm
the
gonna take.
sound a little bit. Okay, then play in there and let me finish, okay? Can't play outside because it's dark and there's mosquitoes. Someone asked you, Cheryl, what if she's sober now? Ray said, what if she's sober now? Hello, you're muted. Criminal
Okay.
imagination. I have sciatica so bad, sometimes I can't walk. There was a couple times flare-ups I had when I was crawling to change diapers and stuff like that. I mean, so maybe that's why, because I have it awful, awful, awful. And I can't, there's nothing that helps it, no matter what kind of like medicine, there's no medicine to help it as far as ibuprofen or whatever. And I would never take those kids again. So 2 questions. What is she sober now, and what happened to the biological father of Thomas?
I don't even know who the biological father is. I only knew Thomas for a total of 3 months. He was there for 3 months before this happened to him. And so we didn't have a lot of time to gather information, and the police has not given us any of that information. So I do have the biological mom's name, and of course Thomas's last name is his dad's name. I think is William Tillery, and let's see, Urban. Um, it happened in 1994. I'll get you exact dates.
Good night,
Um,
Michelle. Sweet dreams.
he came up missing September 19th, 1994, in Madill, Oklahoma. That's Marshall County. And he was found in Carter County, which is Dixon, Oklahoma. And he was found in December of 94, but he wasn't identified until um, 2011. So, and his mom's name is Reba.
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 Do you have a case number, Urban says?
The case number, I don't, but I can get it for you.
That would be awesome. And there's a lot of people in here that want to start looking into it, and that is such good news. Brittany said, I hope a lot of others will take up the Thomas case. If we cause enough uproar, we could maybe push the police to move on this. And absolutely we can. That's the power of coming together on these things. Like, we can make a difference in the world, a positive difference. I know we can. I really do. In my heart, I just know it.
That's what I said when I started my YouTube channel. If I can make a difference in my little corner, then that's what I'm going to try to do. And I wish I could have made a difference here, but I couldn't. It just happened so fast.
Yes, you can, and you are right now. You're sitting here being so great, talking about it and getting the word out. So don't ever beat yourself up about it. You are special, and you're doing something for him right now. You really are. So don't ever beat yourself up about it. And I'm so sorry, and thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It is okay. Really. You are absolutely okay. I love you to death, and I am so thankful that you came on and shared it with us all. And yeah, Christy Lou says what you're doing now is so important. And she's right. There was nothing you could do then. You would never even imagine that someone would do that. You know, that's not how the type of person you are. And yeah, so you cannot beat yourself up about not doing something then. So you're doing something now. Urban says, I'm so sorry. Christy and Ray said, thank you for sharing. Or no, Ray said, thank you for sharing. And yeah, Christy said, what you're doing is so important. So yeah, thank you. Now, I don't want to talk about other creators or anything, but I do want to say that I know that we cannot ignore the fact that Watts Island is like completely destroying itself. It's a popular case with a lot of attention, and it is very toxic. People get, it's crazy. I wrote in my notes, Watts Island was hit with a deadly excuse my language, freaking tsunami. You have to brace yourself, hold on, take a hell of a beating, get your stuff together and move on and get off this toxic, dangerous island and don't ever look back, which is easier said than done whenever you care about the case, because those little girls, they steal your heart. And then it's like, you can't move on, But I think that we have to, I don't want to talk about names and all that stuff, but I want to say that, we can't ignore that that's happening, but all we can do is try to focus on the cases that need more attention, lift each other up, be positive, tell each other, if you think something about, someone, then a positive thought, you tell them to make them feel better. If you can make a difference in any way that will make a positive difference, then you do that, and then hopefully it will drown out the negativity, because the people in this chat right here are such wonderful people. I know we can make a difference. We just went through like 10 cases, and there's millions more, and all these cases are just as important. And I think that we have to like make an effort to try to move past all of that toxicity and love each other and be here for each other, and don't tear each other down, and don't, lie on each other, and don't cheat, and don't steal, and don't, all that. We got to stop, because it's ruined. True crime YouTube is full of people who are so wonderful, who just want to speak up for little kids like Thomas and make a difference. But when we're all focusing on, all this drama, like he said, she said, how can we get back at this person, blah, blah, blah. No, we cannot do that. We've got to spend our time doing something positive. That way because we can make a real difference, you guys. We can make cases, be open back up. We just can. We can help raise money for people who need it, that have, been in these situations, like Gannon Stauch's mom, who is traveling back and forth to Colorado when the case happens. And I just think that there are so many good things we could be spending our time doing. When you're spending your time doing bad things, being negative, being mean to other people, and even just watching the BS, you start to feel bad. You start to feel gross and just bad. And that is not why we're here. We are here to make a difference, Let me read y'all's chats, as I'm way far behind. Let's see. It's giving me anxiety. Me too. I'm with you, Allie. I want to make a difference and do something worthwhile. Me too. I totally agree with you. And we can do that together. I know we can. Oh, thank you, Lord.
And we need to lead by example. Don't tell people what to do. Show them. If we show them, that's what's going to make a big difference. But somebody has to lead, because there's a bunch of little kids running the shows. I mean, we have to lead our way out of this mess. And I just believe that we can do it.
I know we can do it. I
So,
know we can. We can make a difference in changing laws for little kids who are missing or kids who are in the foster care system. We can make a difference by interviewing and watching interviews of people who are going through this stuff and sharing links and sharing stories. And, as far even with addiction, we can help each other through that. That's the reason why I've tried to talk about it and be very honest about it, even as far as like I put in my post. I almost didn't tell anyone that I smoked pot occasionally or whatever, that I smoked pot, because I am in recovery, and some people they judge that, but I thought about it, and it was a quick decision and quick thinking, because I was actually in a lab, and I thought, if I'm lying about that, right, then I'm not helping anybody. I want to help people who are there and let them know, hey, if you're in recovery and you need to smoke or whatever for anxiety or to help sleep, then that's okay. Or if you're in recovery and you need to go to the doctor and get some kind of medicine for like anxiety or whatever, that's okay. We have to stop judging each other and be honest and try to uplift each other. Because when I remember when I was like in the depths of all of that, I didn't see anybody around me that was doing it really. Everyone around me was struggling too, and they were doing bad stuff. And I think that if I could have just seen that it was even possible, like to break out of that, then I swear it would have been so much easier. And then I can show anybody out there who's struggling, that you can get through it. It's possible. I promise. You just have to try, put in the effort, and it's not easy, but it is really worth it. It really is. And it's something I am so, so passionate about. Like, I don't know. Y'all are missing time.
hello, Juicy Jules.
Oh, thank you, Patrick, so much. How did we manage to do it? Yeah, I love, yeah, I totally agree. Urban, I actually did get that some, and especially like during some of the mess, like people were like, "Oh, she says she's in recovery, but she smokes pot." And then someone's like, "She said she drank wine." You guys, I drank one glass of wine like a couple days out of the last year, and I have no tolerance. I don't like it, and I get hungover. But if you do want to have a glass of wine responsibly or smoke a joint responsibly, that's okay. You're not out there shooting heroin. You're not taking 90 Xanaxes a week. You're not out there smoking meth or crack or whatever people it is you do. Like, if you're responsibly having a drink, that's okay. I eat edibles on vacation.
And I mean, I see that it's nobody's business what you do. I mean, it's not. And I mean, if I drank a bottle a night, it wouldn't be anybody's business but mine. My kids are grown. I'm here with me and my husband. You shouldn't feel guilty about, having a glass of wine, because I know Alex does. but but you shouldn't have to feel that guilt. You shouldn't have to worry about that. You have enough to worry about day to day, just trying to put food on your table and clothes on your kids' backs, and you just shouldn't have to worry about what other people think of you. If you love yourself and you're good with who you are inside, and you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm good, then you've got this.
Yeah.
So
It took a long time for me to look in the mirror and say, I am proud of you. And I am now. And I'm not going to let anybody try to convince me I'm someone that I know I'm not, because I know who I am. People can like guess or whatever, and you guys have to decide that too. Other people cannot tell you who you are. They can tell you who they think you are. They can try to like put you down to what it, like, depending on who it is in abusive relationships and stuff, they try to tell the other person, you'll never be anything. Well, I'm sorry, but you don't get to tell me what I'm going to be. you know. I want to answer a couple of comments. Criminal imagination. I am terrified of ayahuasca. That stuff looks. I watched Chelsea Handler do it, and whoo, she got very sick, but she liked it at the end. But
What is that?
thank you, Patrick. It's like a psychedelic, almost hallucinogenic type thing that people use for spiritual awakenings, kind of. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, because I may be explaining it wrong. Oh, thank you, Woofy. Thank you, Michelle. You were beautiful inside and out.
Is that like that cleansing drink?
I don't know. This is like, you have to go to like Mexico to do it, and you have to, like, they have these big retreats, and it's for like spiritual awakenings. I mean, these people, they throw up a whole lot, and they get to where they can't even really move from one spot, and it's kind of, I don't know. Let's see. I think we, yeah, I'll show you. I'll send you a video later about it. Jennifer, I agree. I think we need to talk about addiction and mental health. Mental health, especially. I mean, it's something that is so, there's such a stigma on both mental health and addiction. Yet, a lot of people suffer from these issues. This is not, you know, a small amount of the population. A lot do. We don't need to be ashamed. We need to talk about it and tell each other it's okay. You know, as long as you're trying and you're doing your best every day and you're honest and you're kind, and then it's okay. Thank you, Brittany J. Irvin. Now Allie is crying. Stop crying.
Because, you know, look at, most people are okay with how they turned out. And if you're not ashamed of who you are, then you shouldn't be ashamed of where you've been. Because that's just your pathway to getting to who you are. And as you get older, you get wiser. That is very true. That right there is the saying of a lifetime. Because you do. You look at things differently. You start to mature. I didn't even start to mature, I don't think, you know, until I was well into my 40s. And then I started calming down and seeing things differently. And it is, you get to know yourself better then too. You get to start to know yourself and settling into who you are. And that way you can stand on your beliefs and you can stand on who you turned out. Then you start looking at the person that you've turned into, and are you happy with that person?
Yeah, and you know, wisdom is really valuable. Really, really valuable. Thank you, Patrick, so much. I appreciate that. Christy Lou, I appreciate that so much. I don't want to miss anybody's comments. I'm trying to go through quickly, and it does look scary, but people say it's super healing, and revealing it like reveals your. Chelsea Handler is bad. I know. I love her.
I think that it would be great if we get together, maybe do some kind of like a reset, you know, us women. I mean, just even if it's talking about the problems that they're having, maybe another woman in the group will know what she's going through because she's already been through that and can help her and kind of lift each other up and start something new instead of being jealous and being hate. I mean, full of hate, and lift each other up. Even if we get support groups going, or get like, you know, kids, mothers with young kids, you know, maybe they're going through something with one of their kids that they need some help with, and they can just hop on and ask somebody. I mean, if we would get together a strong community that has strong roots that do not waver, then I think that this community can grow and grow big and be strong. Right now, we are a weak community, and we don't have to be. We do not have to be at all. I mean, there's enough of us old timers that, I mean, we may can help somebody. I mean, and then your age group, you may be going through something that they need help with, you know, that hasn't, that are just now going through the problems you've already been through, and maybe you can help them. It's just,
I think that's a great idea. And a lot of people in the comments think that's a great idea too. So we should start it.
yeah, I just think that we need to do something, because who are we if we do not leave behind a legacy that we would be proud to leave there, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's so true. I definitely want to do that. That is my goal. I want to, even if I wouldn't have started YouTube, my goal for a job, you guys, I was going to do like counseling with other addicts, because there's a program where I live where you do like a 6 to 8 week class, and you become like, you're not a counselor, but you're they call it an recovery coach. And I was going to do that. I've never thought about choosing a job for money. Like, in my soul, I just want to help. I want to do something like special. Now, criminal imagination, I did not know that SA victims are cured from PTSD and stuff from that. That is really cool. I'd like to have some of my PTSD erased, so that sounds awesome. I guess I could put up with like throwing up and not being able to move from one place and all that if afterwards I felt, you know, just cleansed of all of that stuff. Thank you guys for being here. I love it being like a small little group of us when we can get really emotional and honest and raw and real. And yeah, I appreciate that so much. I put a post up where I want to do a live, maybe weekly or bi-weekly, depending how many people, where we kind of just discuss addiction, you know, different stories of that either that made us in some way or another, or, you know, just to offer hope and inspiration to people out there. You never know, somebody might be at home watching and be, you know, really bad dope sick, or, you know, whatever, and it would give somebody a little hope. So I really, really would love to start doing that. Oh, hey, the Glare. I was talking about you a little bit earlier. Yeah, so yeah, it is a lifelong battle. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out and chatting with me about all these cases. And Cheryl, thank you so much for sharing that personal story. I really, really appreciated that, and a lot of people seemed like they really appreciated that as well. Irvin, that's awesome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Urban, very much for that. I am so thankful, and thank y'all for putting up with me. And I appreciate y'all letting me share.
Oh, we love this so much. Any freaking time. Oh,
And we're going to start those groups, girls. We are.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. So just you guys be on the lookout. I will do an addiction live coming soon, and because that is something I am so passionate about, and if I can, yeah, I definitely want to do that. Hold on, Bam Bam. And I better go because I've got to go take care of my little one. He's like getting really annoyed with me. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, you know, everything, you guys. I love you all, and I appreciate you so much. No, I have a 12-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And Patrick Summers, I understand what you're talking about there with your mom. I do. I went through dementia because I had some brain damage. So I understand what your mom's going through too.
Oh, I missed that comment. I just saw it. I'm so sorry to hear that.
I love you guys, and thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, Allie. I love you. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you so much. And Patrick Summers, I don't want to ignore that comment because I totally missed it. I am so sorry. That is one of the hardest things to see. My dad took care of both of my grandparents through it, and you know, we had to
take care of them, picking them up off the floor when they fell and feeding them and all that. And it's a really, really rough road. And I'm so sorry. I can't imagine it being my mom or dad. So if you need any support, we are always here for you in this chat. So anytime you want to talk about it, I'm here to listen to you. And Cheryl, I love you. Thank you so much. Cheryl's channel is in the description box. So yeah, just go check it out. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye. Bye, Cheryl. You're muted, but bye.
Bye, sweetheart. I love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.